The date is the 11th of August, 1792. I'm Anne.
And I'm Colette.
There's been some national excitement in the past few days. What was that all about, Colette?
Well, we've gotten reports that an angry mob stormed the Tuilleries palace where the royal family has been living.
For more details, here's Victoire on location in Paris.
Hello, you're watching France Now. I'm Victoire, and I'm here at the Tuilleries Palace. 2 days ago on the 9th of August, radical sans-culottes seized power of the Paris Commune. They gathered here yesterday at dawn, brandishing weapons of all sorts. Oh, sir, can I talk to you?
Me? Yeah.
Here. So, what is your name?
My name's Jean-Paul.
And Jean-Paul, were you a part of the insurrection?
Yeah, I was fighting right over there. I'm a sans-culotte.
Could you tell France what that means?
Well, okay, it literally translates to without pants. But it just means that we can't afford those fancy breeches that the rotten aristocrats wear. So instead, we wear these trousers.
Interesting. Jean-Paul, can you tell us about the fighting on the 10th of August?
Well, you'd think this palace would be pretty easy to protect, right? You have the Seine River over there and everything was heavily manned.
Well, what happened?
Those cowards fled during the night. Only about 1,000 of the Swiss Guard were left to fight us off.
So when the palace gates were breached, it was a battle between the sans-culottes and the Swiss Guard?
That's right. We killed about 2/3 of them and imprisoned the rest.
And where was the royal family during all this?
They were hiding in the Legislative Assembly building over there. Pretty dumb hiding spot if you ask me. We surrounded it quickly and they had no way to defend themselves.
And what did you do then?
Then we issued an ultimatum that the monarchy be abolished and that the Legislative Assembly be dissolved voluntarily. They had no choice but to accept it.
Thank you, Jean-Paul. Well, there you have it, France. France, this is breaking news. I'm getting word that the Legislative Assembly is voting now on what to do. Let's see if we can get in. Well, France, it turns out that I was not allowed to film in the Legislative Assembly building, but I can summarize what was decided. The Legislative Assembly has suspended all powers of the King, Louis XVI, and Queen Marie Antoinette. They'll be temporarily replaced by a 5-man executive council. The Legislative Assembly has also disbanded itself, and next month they will be replaced by a new convention. This will be determined by democratic elections. The fate of the King has not yet been decided. The royal family will be kept in the Temple prison for now. Well, France, it's been quite a day. Thanks to a group of middle-class revolutionaries, the powers of the King and Queen have been stripped away completely. I'm Victoire, reporting live in Paris. Back to you, Anne and Colette.
Thank you, Victoire.
We'll be right back after this break.
Now available to the general public for reasonable prices, the favorite treats of your beloved Queen, Marie Antoinette. Croissants, petite fours, wafers, brioche, and more. The Queen's Bakery, serving France since 1774.
Do you hate your neighbors? Do people disagree with you or get on your nerves? Well, try the all-new Guillotine, a humane way to get rid of all of your enemies once and for all. Or get a miniature version for your kitchen table for cutting vegetables and bread. Feel bad about killing people? Don't worry, the Catholic Church is abolished. Get your Guillotine today, a free basket included with every purchase.
Use at your own risk. Keep out of reach of children unless they want to use the guillotine as a toy. That's quite acceptable.
We just heard all about the insurrection.
Wondering what this might mean for the future of France?
We go now to Victoire's identical twin Sophie with the forecast of the revolution.
Hello, and welcome to our 5-stage revolution forecast. We're going to see lots of changes in these stages, so stay tuned. Here's a quick look at what we've got coming up. As you can see, we've got sort of a boomerang pattern, going from despotism to stability to violence, and then back again. Let's review what we've seen unfold recently. In this first stage, we've had a real emphasis on the old regime, but some change did come. Our low is 1798 and our high is 1790. Of course, we've seen some growing involvement from the Third Estate with some conflicts around Versailles. This includes storming the Bastille and the Women's March on Versailles. We also saw a great deal of peasant rebellions in the countryside, which ended feudalism. Our deepest condolences to anybody who lost a manor or a loved one. And of course, we do see some undercurrents of counter-revolutionary sentiment originating from the church. Even more recently, we've seen some stability with the establishment of a constitutional monarchy. Our low is 1791 and our high is 1792. Let's see, we saw a constitutional monarchy established, so there was a rising influence of the bourgeoisie in terms of voting power and places in parliament. We also had the royal family attempt to escape the country. This caused trust in Louis XVI to plummet. Power shifted over to our legislative assembly. Some outside involvement here with the Declaration of Pillnitz, which eventually fell through. However, we do have military conflict beginning with France and Austria. Next, we've the Reign of Terror. No, not that kind of reign. That's better. Anyways, the low is 1792 and the high is 1795. We will have some interior conflict in the country because two factions of the Jacobins can't decide what to do with the king. The mountain will win and Louis will be guillotined? I'm sorry, how do we know this stuff? We're just gonna let him die? Okay then. We will see the Jacobins come to power as a main section of the National Convention. Also, there will be the Committee of Public Safety, which will come to power under Danton and Robespierre. Phew! I mean, that's a relief. Somebody reasonable here going for the safety of every single person in France. What a relief. Okay, so there will be a Vendée rebellion in the west here. They want the king back. Unfortunately for them, he's dead. So if anybody doesn't support the king in this region, we recommend that you evacuate so you aren't killed or anything. And then the Committee of Public Safety will be forced to put down these revolts, as well as revolts in Lyons and Marseille. That makes sense. I mean, revolts aren't very safe. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Guillotines. Well, there will be about a 99% chance of blood because the Committee of Public Safety will kill everyone who opposes the revolution. This amounts to about 50,000 victims from all classes. Who named this committee? Seriously. Anyway, this will continue until the Thermidorian reaction when Robespierre is guillotined. As you can see, some serious radicals are gaining power. Wondering what the heck Thermidorian means? Well, the Committee of Public Safety will go through a policy of de-Christianization, and that includes changing the calendar, because of course they did. Everybody, celebrate Christmas this year like you'll never celebrate it again, because you might not. Backing up a bit, this war will have been going on throughout all the Reign of Terror. The government will call for universal mobilization and will raise an army of over 1 million. This army will be able to push the Allied enemies across the Rhine so that the coalition breaks up. But beware, all citizens of France will now be susceptible to violence and general pillaging. On the bright side, these events lead to a rise of nationalism. The revolution will also spread to Haiti. Thank goodness we're back to a reasonable government. You can expect a director government with a low of 1795 and a high of 1799. So we've got a constitution again, and this time it's a bit more conservative for the sake of stability. We'll also have some more freedom of worship because the Catholic Church is allowed to open. Also, there will be a government system that sounds straight out of Lord of the Rings, like Council of Elders? What is this? Sorry, the producers are telling me I'm a few hundred years too early with that reference, so moving on. What? Another coup d'etat? How many government changes will there be? Well, now we have a Napoleon, a low of 1799 and a high of 1815. So, we have come full circle. We're back to a monarch with the church firmly under his control. We will also see some revolutionary ideals taken away by his laws, like freedom of the press. As emperor, Napoleon will need an empire, and boy is he good at doing so. Napoleon will defeat all of his enemies except for Britain, which has too strong of a navy. So, he will put them in economic blockade to try and harm them. It will backfire. Napoleon's last enemy will be Russia, but he didn't account for the winters and everybody starved or froze. Finally, some real weather stuff. What can I say? Napoleon will be defeated and exiled, but he will escape for one last hurrah. Then he'll be exiled again and eventually die. And that's it. Thank you for joining us for the 5-stage revolutionary forecast. I am moving to England.
Well, that's all the news we have at the moment.
We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning with more updates.
I'm Anne.
And I'm Colette.
It's the 11th of August, 1792, and you're watching France Now.
Have a good day, everybody.
The bongo.
I'm filming, Maddie. Go.
Do you hate your neighbors? Do piss and pee?
Action.
Me? Sure. Here. Sorry. Over there in the Legislative Assembly building.
You guys doing a play or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.